We're talking with Tenisha Taylor Bell, the CEO and president of Perfect Pitch Marketing, who's talking to us from her office in Lithia Springs, is it, in Douglasville, Douglas County? All
Douglas
right.
County, Lithia Springs, Georgia.
Right. Now, tell us, when did you discover this flyer and exactly what did the flyer say?
Yesterday morning, after dropping my son off at summer camp, I came back home at about 9:30 and picked up the mail like I usually do. There's usually trash in the yard, newspapers and different flyers that people pass around, and usually there are solicitations for the lawn care service or the maid service or local hair salon. So you get a lot of flyers a lot of times that you just really overlook, and you just pick it all up and just trash it. So I picked it up off the ground. Usually it's around the mailbox, and I got my mail out and I came in and sat it down. It wasn't until later, a little bit later, that I really started going through the mail and saw that flyer sitting there. It was in a bag, and here it is. I'll show it to you. It's in a bag. You can see it, a small plastic Ziploc bag with a marble inside, and it reads, "Transgender is an abomination according to the King James Bible," and it goes into a lot of scripture about transgender. And then it says, "These freaks are jeopardizing the safety of bathrooms all across the nation." And it goes into later, it just says, "The KKK wants you," and it has a hotline, and then it says, "The Loyal White Knights of KKK." It has their website and donations accepted. And it even talks about, if you don't know what bathroom to use a tree out in the backyard. Very offensive. No matter what your stance is on transgender or what's going on in our society, bathrooms and transgender, the fact that the KKK is spreading hate to a different group, usually it's to African Americans or Hispanics, different racial groups, but this is to another sector of our society that they're now attacking. And I was concerned about it, obviously, because it's the KKK in my neighborhood, on my street, and I'm not happy about that. The street that my kid plays on, and other kids in the neighborhood. So that's why it was very alarming to me. And the fact that they referenced use a tree out in the back was very offensive to me, because a lot of the trees, when I look out my backyard, are trees that my ancestors hung from. And so to see that the KKK is still spreading this racism and this hatred in 2016 is very disturbing.
Do you live in a diverse neighborhood?
My neighborhood is very diverse. My neighbor to my right is white. My neighbor to my left is white. The wives are white and the husbands are black. So they are mixed couples on both sides of me. And in my neighborhood, down in the cul-de-sac, there's another white family. And so there are a few mixtures around in the neighborhood, white families. You'll see a lot of Hispanic families over here as well. So I call it the little UN. They're majority black, but there's a good size population of Hispanic, and then probably the next size of white.
Now, you talked to a sheriff deputy, Douglas County Sheriff Deputy out there about the flyer. What was their response?
It's not much they can do. I mean, this is a First Amendment right. They can talk and speak. My concern is putting it on my yard and, where I pay my taxes, my private dwelling. You can have your First Amendment right where you live and where you are, but when you come into my neighborhood and where I pay my taxes and on my private property, that's where I'm concerned. So the sheriff, Sheriff Cunningham, she was very nice, very polite. She wrote a report. It is available in Douglas County. She didn't leave a copy with me, but she just basically said, this is, for record, just in case anything else major happens, at least this is on record. It's not like they can go chase down who did this. They didn't actually put it inside the mailbox, so that's not a federal law that they broke as well. They're all kind of scattered about in the neighborhood, like lying next to the mailboxes or in the grass. The wind's kind of blown them away down the street some. So you can see them when you walk through the neighborhood. You can see them in these plastic baggies laying down on the ground. There is a HOA meeting tonight that just happens to be tonight because it's the first of the month, and they always have them. And so we'll be bringing this up in the HOA meeting tonight at 7 o'clock.
Is this your first encounter in having to deal with a white supremacy group, either through literature or threats or whatever? And how does it make you feel?
It makes me feel sad and sick. You know, this is 2016, where, you know, we are living out the dream, so we thought, where Dr. King talked about our kids playing together and going to school together and eating together, and that is happening on one level, but on another level, it's not. You know, racism is alive and it is well and it is thriving. The problem now in 2016 is hidden. It is now in suits and ties and shorts and sneakers, where it used to be 40 years ago in white hoods and white sheets.